is further along than his 6th speech, but today is his 6th speech. Tim's been with the club for not long, but seems like he's just a solid member of the club. What do you got, 2 years?
No. 18 months.
18 months. Seems like, it really does seem like you've been here. Great member of our group. This is his 6th speech, as I said. It's project number 6 in the Competent Communication Manual, Vocal Variety. In this presentation, Tim will describe 3 principles and how they affect each of us every day. The title of his speech, 3 Principles. Please welcome Tim Vanoy.
It was a dark and stormy night. Captain, wake up. What is it? Sir, we have a problem, a serious problem. Well, what is it? There is a ship 20 miles away in our sea lane, and they will not move. Well, tell them to move. Sir, we have, but they will not move. Okay. Message goes out. Move starboard 20 degrees at once. Message returns. Move starboard yourself 20 degrees at once. Who are these people? Don't they know that I'm important? Message goes out. I am Captain Hornblower, the 26th, commanding you to move 20 degrees starboard at once. Message comes back. I'm Seaman Nick Jones III, commanding you to move 20 degrees starboard at once. The arrogance of this person. Who is this joker? Doesn't he know? We're a battleship. We could. Message goes out. We're the mighty Missouri, flagship of the 7th Fleet. Move 20 degrees starboard at once. Message comes back. I am the lighthouse. True story in the naval proceedings. And it allows me to segue into, as I would call, lighthouse principles. So my art class, we have a lighthouse. And in the time remaining, I want to talk about 3 principles. That affect the natural law, or natural laws. The first one is 80-20. Are we all familiar with the 80-20 rule? 20% of my clients produce 80% of my sales. 20% of my salespeople produce 80% of the sales. And I always look at that as a different way, because if I have 80-20, I also have 20 to 80. And I'm going to draw some waves here, because it's my belief that sometimes we get stuck below here. We're spending a lot of time and maybe not getting the results that we're looking for. So as we think about that, as we go through, one of the principles that I would like to share with you is the 80-20. The second principle is the law of the harvest. Growing up on a farm, I worked for my aunt and uncle, Clarence and Trudy. As a freshman in high school, I showed up at the farm on a day like this morning, cold, very rainy, and I ended up out in the shop, and today we're going to plant Christmas trees. Christmas trees. I'm thinking about Christmas trees, and I said, well, Christmas trees. We open up a box. If you've ever planted Christmas trees, it's a little seedling. Looks like almost like a weed. And there had to be a couple hundred of these Christmas trees in the box. And so I go through this process of on our knees, digging through the sod and planting Christmas trees progressively through the day. At lunch, we're sitting around and he's telling me that as we're at the family dining table with his daughters that are 6 and 8, this is their college plan. Kind of thinking about this for a minute. College plan, planting Christmas trees. Not that I know at that time, but a Christmas tree takes about 8 years to grow 5 feet. I learned in the law of the harvest that we have to have patience. And so we stand and planted trees year after year to the size of a football field. And 8 years later was the first harvest. And a year after that, and a year after that. Today I don't care for Christmas trees, because the other thing with the law of the harvest is that not only do you have to plant them, but that you have to take care of them. So there were drip lines pulled out, drip lines pulled back. We had to mow around the trees. The trees get bigger, you have to trim them back, because nobody wants a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. So I learned patience in that process over that period of time. So the law of the harvest is a natural law that we have to think about. What we plant is what we get. The last one here is insanity. Albert Einstein talks about the definition of insanity is what? Doing the same thing over and over and over again, but expecting different results. I've been married to my wife for 30 years. I should know this by now. But she's, as I say, she will be late for her funeral. Our church has a 11 o'clock service that starts at 11 o'clock. They do not wait for us to show up. However, we are always there at 11:05, 11:10. I'm figuring out how can I make a change to get a different result. Doing the same thing over and over again. So I take the clock in the bathroom and I move it forward 20 minutes. The next day, Sunday, we go to church. We're there on time. However, we're in the car and she's going, are we not going to rush to get to, I don't want to have to. She's looking at the clock going, well, where's the extra time come from? I said, well, I moved the clock ahead 20 seconds or 20 minutes in the house. That lasted for about 2 weeks, and then she realized that she had an extra 20 minutes on the clock. So if we want a different result, we have to put in different inputs to get something back, or else we're going to have the same thing over and over again. So as I conclude this morning, 3 principles of that lighthouse. One is the 80-20. Stay above here, otherwise we're sinking. Law of the harvest, which is patience and taking care of things. And last but not least, we need to make a change if we expect something different. Thank you.